Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome to Rock and Roll True Stories. And today I want to cover some news that's been making the rounds this past week. So Tool's newest album, Fear Inoculum, which came out in late August, it turns out outsold Kanye West's new album. So Tool's new album, which was released this past summer, outsold it when comparing first week's sales. So Jesus is King is Kanye West's new album. That one still debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 charts, making Kanye West tie Eminem's chart record for the most consecutive #1 albums with a total of 9. Now, despite mixed reviews, Jesus is King still debuted pretty strong with 264,000 units moved in its first week, along with 109,000 of those coming from pure album sales. While Tool's album Fear Inoculum, which was released in August, had an even bigger week than Kanye's new record, and Tool moved 270,000 copies of the album in its first week, and they sold 247,000 pure albums. So on top of that, that special edition copies of Fear Inoculum completely sold out in its first week, which means that Tool probably could have had a bigger opening week had they been able to stock more store shelves. So according to chart data, Fear Inoculum is the 6th biggest debut across all musical genres in 2019, beating juggernaut acts like BTS, Khalid, and the Backstreet Boys. So of the 13 albums that have debuted this year with 100,000 pure sales in 2019, 2 of them have been metal records, including Tool's album and Slipknot's latest release, We Are Not Your Kind, which sold 102,000 copies. There's a new interview going around with Josh Homme, who talked about a possible reunion of them Crooked Vultures. So if you guys remember, they released their album, their only album, back in 2009, and it was one of the biggest supergroups of the 21st century, featuring Dave Grohl on drums, as well as Led Zeppelin bassist John Paul Jones. So in a recent interview with Rolling Stone, Homme stated, "The ironic thing is that we all want to do another Vultures record, and I think everyone has certain roles to play in the Vultures, and in all honesty, I feel like that's part of Dave's role, since he got it together the first time by saying, 'Hey, you want to try this?' I feel like that's part of his job description in the Vultures. I have my various things that I'm supposed to do, I think, but that isn't one of them." However, Homme, he said he is open to doing more Crooked Vultures music, adding, "I'm always ready to be in them Crooked Vultures again. I don't chase, you know." Now, the Queens of the Stone Age leader went on to state that, "I think ultimately these things happen when they're supposed to, and I don't have much experience in forcing things to happen like that. When you're playing music, people come together because they want to and not from a sense of desperation or need. I think that's the best reason to come together." Now, earlier this year, Dave Grohl did state that he viewed Homme as a brother and added, "There's nobody I'd rather play drums with." He also went on to state of them Crooked Vulture status, we practice once every decade, and we're coming up on another decade, aren't we? I don't have any official news, but there's always something cooking. Now, I don't know if you guys like them Crooked Vultures. I like them. There was a number of songs, that single that they had, New Fang, which was probably their best known song, even won a Grammy for Best Hard Rock Performance. And I got a little bit more exposure to their music because they were featured in Rock Band 3 with Dead End Friends, and then their song Scumbag Blues was also in, I think, Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock, or one of the Guitar Hero games that came out at the time. And then some other news that we had, which was some pretty sad news. Mercyful Fate bassist Timi Hansen died after a long battle with cancer, and his death was confirmed by his former bandmate, Mercyful Fate singer King Diamond. So King wrote on a Facebook message earlier this week, "I just found out that I lost one of my dearest friends who's been fighting cancer for a long time in such an incredibly brave way. He was not just my roommate on the early Mercyful Fate tours, but he was always my favorite bass player of all times. I was fortunate to have been able to visit him in his apartment with some other good friends, and we had a great afternoon that will never be forgotten. When I last talked to Timmy on the phone on October 24th, I could understand that things had gotten tougher than they ever were, and yet he said we fight on. I feel so sad for his entire family. You have my absolute deepest sympathy. Rest in peace, my dear friend." Now, Hansen went public with his diagnosis in early August after it was announced he wouldn't be participating in the Mercyful Fate's 2020 reunion, and he would be replaced by Armored Saint and Fates Warning bassist Joey Vera. That concludes today's news. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you guys have tuned in this far, I will let you know that tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, I will be releasing a video about the history of the band Skid Row, and it's probably one of my longer videos I've done to date, so you guys can check that out. As always, let me know which topics you'd like to see me cover in future episodes of my channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe button. Take care.